today we are going to discuss about one of the beautiful books I have read, The Untold Story of Sita. This is a go-to book. Whenever you feel down, whenever you feel depressed, or whenever you don't know what to do, some page in this book, not even when you read a page by page, when you flip to some page of the book and you read a single line or single paragraph in this book, it lifts your spirit up. Sita Mata was an inspiration to millions, and her journey is explained through the eyes of the author. The author, Dina Merriam, in her deep meditation, has visions about her past life as first Meenakshi, when she served as servant to Mata Sita, and a consecutive life as Anusuya, where she gets connected to Sita Mata and experiences life. So without further ado, this is part 2, and we will start the session. Just a moment, let me share my PPT. Hope it is visible. So in the last session, this is where we ended. Sita Mata is now traveling, Master Sita is now traveling into the forest with Ram, her husband, her better half, and her brother-in-law Lakshman, and her purpose of life starts unraveling. So, journey through the forest. So, since the entire book is written from the vision of the author, we will start with how the author is reborn to get her connection more deepened. And she is reborn as Anasuya in the kingdom of Ayodhya now. Anasuya is now a little girl, and her father works in the administration of King Ram. This is a time where Mata Sita has already left her physical form and has become a light being, and has returned to her eternal abode in Vaikuntha. And Anasuya now has so many disturbing questions as child. First, she gets a question like, how can Sita Mata be abducted? Because she has been told story that Sita Mata was abducted by Asura king, a demon king Ravana. And she has very disturbing questions like, how can she be abducted? Because she is a master in spiritual arts. She is a master and she has all the capabilities to defend herself. So Anasuya, as a young girl, listening to all the stories that has come across Sita Mata's life, she is very disturbed, and that is a burning question inside her. And she also has a pattern inside in this life. She also has a disturbance in this life, a fear that she should not get married. You remember why she is having this fear? Because she got it from her past life. In her past life, her father in her past life always used to say, never get married because it is not going to end well. So the same thoughts and same patterns replicate in this life as well. And for some unknown reason, she has this deep-seated fear that she should not get married. Now she is of a marriageable age, and her parents are trying to get her married, but still she is having a deep fear that I should not get married because something will not end well. Often in life, we do not understand where the fear comes. We are not able to trace back the root of this fear, and it is often in the past life. So meditation is a great way to remove such fears. Reading books or talking to masters can trigger such patterns to come up, and meditation helps you release such fear from this life. It is not important to analyze where we got those fears, because our mind in this birth is not capable of analyzing all the past lives, all the previous births we have taken. So it is important to find a solution rather than analyzing why it came there in the first place. So Anasuya is now stuck in this pattern. So her parents come to hear that Soma, who was a very good attendant during the last days of Sita, is still alive. We remember Soma, since she was a very deep deeply connected attendant, helper to Sita Mata throughout the journey of her life. So she is still alive, and Ansuya's parents think it would be better for Meenakshi to travel and meet Soma so that she'll get Anasuya healed from this fear. So they travel and meet Soma. Soma and Meenakshi, now as Anasuya, now who has taken birth and Anasuya, have past life connections. Soma immediately, she is also a master. She is now a meditator, a master. She has learned all those from Sita and Ram. She immediately finds out that Anasuya is Meenakshi from her last birth. So she understands why she has that fear, and she starts talking to Meenakshi. The first question that Anasuya asks Soma is, how can Sita Mata be abducted? She's a great master, right? How can she be abducted without her will? Is that even possible? Soma understands why she has this deep question. Soma immediately answers, no, she was not abducted. It was her own will, her own consent Sita Mata gave. She has to enter the Asura kingdom to destroy them from within. So she took up this responsibility and she enters. Sita Mata entered. So she starts telling the entire journey of Sita Mata. We travel back in time. From the words of Soma, we see the entire picture how Ram and Sita traveled to the forest for 14 ages, how they were 14 years, how they were 13 years, how they were. Excuse me. Sorry, just a minute. For 13 years, how they were, and finally, how Sita enters Ravana kingdom. Yeah, so now let's start. So Sita and Ram are now in forest. Very difficult setting for prince and princess, right? But Sita Mata was a lover of nature. She was nature herself. So she really was very happy to be in forest, talk to plants, talk to animals, and help whatever she need to do. And slowly, their purpose of life started unraveling. Sita Mata found her purpose was to teach farming. Sita Mata got this during her meditation. She learned it from Janak Baba, her father as well. So she teaches all the civilization, all the people in the forest how to cultivate so that the forest don't get destroyed much. She teaches all these forest settlement how to cultivate their own food, and Ram teaches them their governance. Again, Ram got this information and knowledge from Janak Baba, Sita's father. So he teaches all the people inside the forest communities how to take care of themselves, how to do self-governance for themselves. That is how it moves. Yeah, so slowly and slowly the purpose gets unraveled, and Ram understands there is a disturbance in all these forests because of the asuras who have been traveling to these forests and killing the people. Asuras are demons. These are flesh-eating creatures. So their purpose of life is only pleasure. They are entirely Muladhara Chakra based, only sustenance based. It is everything about lust, pleasure, and greed for them. And these creatures have been roaming around the forest in Bharat at that time, and Ram's purpose was where to destroy them so that the forest people, settlement in the forest people can live peacefully. So all these purpose started unraveling, and Ram started doing battles. Ram and Lakshman were doing battles with these people, and they gave a peaceful life. They gave a peaceful civilization. So Ram and Sita understand that if they have been confined to Ayodhya, their services would have been confined to Ayodhya. Now, since they are traveling entirely through the Bharat, forest after forest, their services are now moving for, they are servicing a large community of people. So often we are thrown out, right? Thrown out of life into something we are very uncomfortable or something that is very unexpected. But always we have to trust nature that there is a higher purpose in this. There is a bigger picture to be seen behind, because sometimes our services are required for many others. Then Patri sir sometimes says no to some things we have to do. Patri sir sometimes says, no, don't do this. You have a bigger picture. You have a better thing to do now. You have a better service to do now. He says no to some things. But we never understand why he says no or why he guides us in other direction, because masters often see the bigger picture. They always help us towards our life goals. They always help us progress. So Ram and Sita progress, and then they meet on the way. They meet so many sages, the sages, all well accomplished sages in those times. Very prominent were Atri and Anasuya. All were husband and wife pairs. So both were used to meditate. So Atri and Anasuya, Agastya and Lopamudra, these were the sages. These were the sages. They met, and all these sages offer protection to Sita Mata. Out of their meditation, out of their tapasya, whatever benefits, whatever spiritual achievements they have got, they gave them as protection to Sita Mata, because they knew what that was to come. Sita Mata had to enter the demon kingdom. So all these sages gave all the blessings they have. All the sages said, let me give my strength to you, let me give my energy to you, which will act as a protection to you that is about to come. Sita Mata knew intuitively that is, she has to do something big. Her purpose is still yet to be unraveled. So she took all these energies and blessings from all these sages, all the protection she took, the blessing from all these sages, and they travel deep into the forest and reach Panchavati. Panchavati is a place in India, in Bharat, where they settle now. This is the last year through the Vanavas, through the forest journey, and it is still one more year to go. This Panchavati is a beautiful place. This Panchavati, Sita Mata loved Panchavati because there was abundance flowing towards in the river Panchavati. She found abundant food. She found abundance in animal kingdom. Many animals used to visit her small quarters, and she used to play with them. She used to talk with them. She used to feed them, and she used to travel. The river Godavari was flowing, and river Godavari again manifests before Sita Mata and takes her blessings. Sita Mata tells, you are my child, and Godavari makes sure she gives abundance to that region because Sita Mata is there. Yeah, abundance always follows masters. So Sita Mata gets abundance of everything. She never asked. Abundance followed her, and Godavari made sure that she had everything, whatever she needed. Godavari gave her beautiful flowers for meditation and puja. Godavari gave her beautiful medicinal plants because Sita Mata was a great healer. She was an Ayurvedic healer. She knew how to use these plants. So River Godavari made sure that Sita Mata had everything in her life, and Panchavati was a very beautiful setting for them. But immediately Ram and Sita understand that this is the military base of the demon king Ravana. I'll give you an introduction about Ramana a little later, but the military base, Panchavati, seems to be the military base for the demon king. Immediately, they encounter demons, they encounter asuras who have higher capabilities, different capabilities. Now, the asuras are battling with illusionary arts. They are not even battling with their own physical weapons. They have started battling with the illusionary arts. Illusionary, they are projecting illusions onto the people's mind who are coming to compete with them. And this is an altogether different kind of battle. But Ram was an enlightened master. He knew how to battle, but he understood that it is going to get difficult as they go downwards to battle Ravana. Ram and Sita never started the war. They never wanted to start a war on Ravana, because there is a story behind that. Ravana was a great scholar. Ravana, now coming to the introduction of Ravana, he was a very great scholar. He was a very great devotee of Mahadev. And it is said that he used to carry a small Shivalinga deity of Shiva, wherever he used to go, and he used to immediately do puja. Whenever he sees flowers, or whenever he sees water bodies, he used to immediately take water and flowers and offer it to Mahadeva, the deity of Mahadev. He was a great devotee of Mahadev. Ram was also a devotee of Mahadev, so he didn't want to attack Ravana until they had a very good cause, that can be traced back, an undeniable cause that can be traced back to Ravana. So Ram was very patient, as usual. Ram was the epitome of patience. Ram was very patient, and Ravana, and again, as said, Ravana was a great scholar, but out of the scholar things, he got immense pride and ego along with it, and that is why he started, out of the greed he had, he started taking out of nature whatever that was not necessary for him. He became very greedy and started acquiring lands, started acquiring, destroying kingdoms, started destroying rivers. Then Sita Mata could not take it. Because Sita Mata was nature herself. She didn't understand how Ravana could do all these things. Because he was a scholar, but again, he didn't have a tiny bit of love in his heart. So he had great knowledge, but he didn't have love. So the knowledge was useless. He was a scholar, but that knowledge came to be used to no one. So Ravana was that, and Ram and Sita knew there will be something that will happen now, and their purpose will start. They have to start taking the war on Ravana. So the incident starts. This is how the story starts. The journey with Rama, Sita, and Ravana starts. Surpanaka, she was a Asura princess. She travels through all these forests in India, and with all the illusionary arts she knows, she tries to praise on sages. She tries to praise on people who do meditation, especially men who do meditation, and make their life disrupted. So Surpanaka, now she has all the illusionary art, so she makes herself very beautiful, and she enters Ram, Ravana, and Sita's abode. Sorry, Lakshman, Ram and Sita's abode. She comes in the beautiful disguise and offers food to Ram and Sita and Lakshman. Sita immediately senses that she is for danger, and River Godavari also warns Sita, Mata, there is some danger nearby, be careful. Sita immediately understands this is the danger, and she throws away the food that she bought to captivate all the men, that is Ram and Lakshman, and Surpanaka becomes very angry about that. Surpanaka now starts attacking Sita. Lakshman, who is very quick to react, throws his knife towards Surpanaka, and Surpanaka's nose gets cut, and the battle has started. Surpanaka now, with full of anger, runs to Ravana, and Ravana, he knew, Ram and Lakshman were doing all the damage to his army in India, and Ravana had took this as a reason, and he wants to start a war on Ram and Lakshman and Sita. So Ravana has a history of abusing women throughout his lifetime. He has abused so many women throughout his lifetime. So his immediate thoughts are not to attack a direct battle on Ram and Lakshman. His immediate thoughts goes in abduction of Sita. And Sita Mata is again warned by River Godavari. River Godavari says, Mata, Ravan is going to come and take you to Lanka, but it will not happen without your consent. Only you can enter Lanka, and only if you enter Lanka, the destruction of Ravana will start. Only then you can save Mother Earth from all the destruction Ravana is doing. Will you be able to do that, Sita Mata? Godavari asks, and Sita Mata gives her consent. Yes, I will. This is my purpose in life. I know it is going to be difficult, but I will journey to the Lanka, which is the home of Ravana, which is the home of the Asura kingdom. I will go inside Lanka alone, and I will start my work from there. And again, so Ravana comes, takes Sita Mata away. The book beautifully describes how it was throughout the process. It was only due to the consent of Sita Mata. It was not like Ravana could touch Sita Mata. Ravana tried to touch Sita Mata. Immediately her anger rose, her kundalini rose, her body became fire. Her body immediately emitted heat, and Ravana couldn't get hold of Sita Mata, couldn't touch Sita Mata. Sita Mata tells, I will come. I'm not your prisoner, but out of my own will, I will enter Lanka. And that is how Sita Mata journeys to Lanka. And Ram and Lakshman, excuse me. And now Ram and Lakshman are getting ready to start a battle on Ravana. Now Sita Mata has entered Lanka, and this is the entire, because Ravana is not only having a hold on the physical Lanka. Everything thoughts. Ravana was a great mind reader, and he can travel through thoughts of people, and he can twist them. He can project his illusions on people and can make them suffer. So Sita Mata is in the heart. Sita Mata enters Lanka and immediately goes to the garden, where she finds an Ashoka tree, where she finds a tree and settles down under the tree. For the next 9 months, next 10 months, this is the home for Sita Mata. She is under that tree. She doesn't go inside the palace. She settles down inside the tree, and Ravana starts his work. Sita Mata is offered food. She just takes a sip of water and she goes into meditation. Immediately, Ravana starts projecting all the negative, whatever he can think the worst for Sita Mata, he starts projecting onto Sita Mata's mind. Sita Mata's mind. Sita Mata sits in meditation. Sita Mata sees all the negative images she could see. She is traveling through a treeless, forestless desert where there is no life, no water. And she meets inside her mind, she meets all the women that have been abused by Ravana. All these women come and plead to Sita Mata, they beg so that they can move on to the next step in the soul journey. Sita Mata blesses all these women and takes their pain inside her body, and it is so much painful for Sita Mata in the body now. So she sees all the worst images she can see. She is seeing that Ram is getting remarried and he has some other kids, and and Sita Mata takes a knife and slaughters her own kids. She is seeing all these images. Now Sita Mata still doesn't have kids, but she is seeing all these images, and it shook Sita Mata in her root. She is not able to understand what kind of mind can create an image, create a thought that a parent can kill a child. She cannot understand what is happening, and immediately it is too much pain for her physical form. She says, I'm not able to take this. I want to leave my body. But immediately Ram comes, Ram's voice, she hears, Sita, there is nothing you can't withhold. There is nothing. He is just trying to do an illusion on your mind. Don't give up on that. I am here. I'll come soon for you. I will come soon for you. Don't give up. And then Sita Mata opens her eyes. It is like 3-4 weeks. She has been in this illusionary world. She has traveled to all these worst images for 3-4 weeks. And Sita Mata opens her eyes, and Parvati Mata calls for Ma Parvati. She's again Ma Parvati, again an enlightened master. She comes down. Ma Parvati comes down, and she tells Sita Mata, Sita Mata, and all the women sages come down. All the women sages she has met throughout her journey, Anusuya, Lopamutra, and these are all spiritual masters. They are all masters accomplished. They all come down and sit and meditate with Sita Mata, offering the protection. They are all light beings now. They travel from different realms, different planes of existence, different worlds, celestial worlds. They all come down and offer protection to Sita Mata, because she has taken up the journey. She has taken up a life that she is doing good. She's not only the masters don't she's not only doing good for the present times, but for all the future generations, for a millennia to come, she's cleaning up the earth's resources. So they all come. The greater the task, the greater the support as well. We often think, if we have to take up a task, will there be energy, will there be support to do that? But once you take up the support, cosmos is bound to give you. Once you take up a task, the cosmos is bound to give you energy, support. It is the duty of the cosmos to give you energy and support and all the knowledge that needs to go along with it. So of course, Master Parvati and all the women sages come and sit and meditate with Sita. They form a protective ring for her, and she gets all the protection that is from Sita Mata, and from Mata Parvati. And Mata again understands the food, the water, even everything inside this kingdom is corrupted with the illusions of Ravana. And from that moment, she never sips water for the next 9 months. She never sips even takes water or eats, and she is sustained by the eternal cosmic energy Amrita that keeps flowing, and that keeps flowing inside her body, and she just sits in meditation without any life sustenance. She just sits in meditation, and she starts understanding. Now Ravana has attacked Sita Mata with all the worst there is, but Sita Mata, there is no such thing as revenge or petty thought in the thoughts of a master. It is all about why there is no love in this particular soul, and what is the pain that is covering the love for this particular soul. She tries to understand what happened to Ravana that made him this bad. What is the story of Ravana? She goes and searches for the root. What is making him think such bad thoughts? And she immediately sees the past of Ravana and how Ravana, Sita, and Ram are connected. This is again a beautiful story. Many ages back, Ravana, during that time, was Jaya, and he was the attendant to Ram and Sita. Ram and Sita are now in the celestial abode. They are in Vaikunta. They are in the celestial abode in Vaikunta in their forms as Narayan and Narayani. And Ravana, who is Jaya there, was an attendant there. When he was an attendant, a story unfolds. Yeah. Brahma Kumaras, 4 Brahma Kumaras, who are Putra, who are sons of Lord Brahma, they come. They wanted to meet Narayan and Narayani, but Jaya in Vaikunta, it is a celestial realm. In Vaikunta, he gets jealous of the love that the 4 kids are projecting towards Narayan and Narayani, and he sends them back. He says, no, they are very busy. You can't see them, so please leave. Of course, Narayan and Narayani can understand that something has happened, and they go and meet these 4 Kumaras, and Narayan decides to talk to Ravana. Jaya, who is now Jaya. Jaya, you can't be in the celestial realm with this jealousy under, because this celestial realm is all the higher planes. They are formed purely of love. There is no chance for negative emotions, negative vibrations, and it will disrupt the frequency of this realm. So immediately retrieve back to meditation. Narayana says, go Jaya, go and meditate. Take all the roots of all the jealousy you have now, all the pride you have now, and come back. Then let us talk about coming back to this realm. So, but immediately withdraw into meditation. But instead of doing that, Jaya says, no, only those 4 Brahma Kumaras, they are not telling the truth. I am telling the truth to you. You were really busy, so I didn't allow them. So that is the truth, but I didn't turn them out of jealousy. But immediately, again, Narayan and Narayani, who are enlightened masters, they can see through this deception. And again, there Narayan tells, I understand this again is a seed of deception. Don't fall into that. Don't scheme anything. Go back into meditation. But he goes into a mode of self-pity. He goes again, seeds of self-pity take place, and he tells, see, Narayan not taking care of me. They are more preferring, their love is more towards Brahmakumara. And again, so pride, jealousy, deception, self-pity, everything has happened. And now he, in the celestial realms, he meets a celestial woman. She is very beautiful, and immediately lust starts over her, and again lust. So everything has come: pride, jealousy, deception, self-pity, lust. So immediately now the Kumaras arrive before him and says, now they give them Jaya curse. Go back to earth, take 7 births in the earth, clear out all your thoughts, find a way to clear out all your thoughts, and when every seed of pride, jealousy, deception, everything is gone, then you can come back to Vaikunta, but you have to take 7 births in earthly realm. Jaya comes to Narayan and pleads, I can't take 7 births in earthly realm. That is a too much long time. I don't know when we can see one birth and one next birth are not even going to be after and after. There will be a millennia gap between one birth and second birth. How will I stay away from this Vaikunta? Narayan, out of his love for devotee, Narayan says, okay, take 3 births. Okay, since you have all these seeds now, pride, jealousy, deception, lust, and all, they will be 100-fold now in these 3 births. But meditate on Mahadev, clear all the deception, clear all these roots. Then when you are entirely based on love, we can come back to Vaikunta. Like he falls, and Sita sees this vision. Sita is now sitting in Lanka under her tree and meditating. Sita sees this vision. She understands. That is why Ravana has all these negative emotions in this birth, and that is why he was a devotee of Mahadev. And this is the second birth for Ravana. In the 3 life cycle births, this is the second birth. In the previous birth, he is Hiranyakashipu, who was trying to kill his own son Prahalada. That is why the thought where to kill their own children has manifested. That is why Ravana could even think about killing his own children, project such thought onto Sita's mind. So Sita understands everything. Masters see beyond what we can see. We often do not understand why masters ask us to do few things, because they can see much. They have a very bigger picture. They can see your past. They can see what is necessary for you. Sita now comes and advises Ravana. See, you were great one at one point. Now you have fallen down. You have to come back. Go and meditate. Don't use all these negative prayers. Stop all these. Go and meditate. There's even a chance now that you can come back. So with time, you can finish all this and come back. So Ravana never understands. Now Ravana never understands what is happening. But Sita understands, because all these have taken place in Ravana's mind. They are these thought patterns are bound to happen and appear in various parts of the world, various parts of the earth, because it is not that Ravana thinks one thing and it will not affect any other person in the earth. Whatever one thinks and projects, these are all vibrations and energy, right? They are transmitted to everyone around them. They are transmitted to the whole earth. So she understands she has to protect women. She has to protect nature in the future, in the millennia to come, because Ravana has already sowed seeds for all these negative thoughts. So she understands her life purpose there. See, even in the toughest of times, only in the toughest of times, it is an opportunity to understand what your life purpose is. Sita understands her life purpose and starts doing deep. She goes deep and deep into meditation. Very rarely she opens eyes in Lanka. She goes into meditation. And even for Mandodari, who is a wife of Ravana, she teaches, you have to separate from him mentally, because Mandodari is again a very chaste woman. She is very devoted to Ravana. She teaches Mandodari, your chastity should be towards working for them, but should not be towards devoting your whole life for them. It should be towards teaching what is good for them. And if they don't listen, get a distance and be mentally free at least, because you are bound to Ravana now. And that karmic cycle is going to affect you as well. So take a distance, take an emotional distance and save yourself. So she starts teaching Mandodari as if, and throughout the Lanka, she has never, this is the worst of her times in her life. Even now, she is deeply seated in meditation. She is deeply seated in what good that she can do to humanity, what good she can do to the lifetime to come. She's planning for the millennia ahead. Masters don't plan for the present moment. They have to heal the past. They have to work for the progress in present, and they have to think about the millennia. That is the millennia to unfold. They have to root all these positive thoughts, and they have to equip people so they can progress in life in the millennia ahead. They can see the future. They are working, always working for the future. And now the battle starts. Ravana doesn't understand, right? Ravana doesn't seem to understand what Sita Mata is telling. What are you? He actually has more pride and jealousy now. Yeah, how can a woman say she has nothing? She has no protection. He doesn't even think Sita Mata as his equal. Because that is his mind. He thinks women as only objects, so he can't comprehend in his mind how a woman sage can hold such powers against him. Actually, Ravana is not able to enter the field of Sita. Yeah, he cannot move inside the field of Sita. He cannot attack Sita. Sita Mata is sitting in deep in meditation, and women from Ayodhya, they're actually praying for her protection. See how prayers work? You pray somewhere, and your energies are getting transmitted, and physically it is getting manifested as a material protection around Sita. So it is beautifully manifesting as a material protection around Sita. Ravana cannot enter this magnetic field of Sita. He is not able to do that. All he can do is converse from a distance and throw negative thoughts and emotions around her. So Sita Mata tells, see Ravana, you can't do this forever. If it is continuous, a war is going to go there, and you are not going to come back to whom you are. And Ravana doesn't understand. And Sita Mata calls for Rama again and again. It's such as a vibration inside our body. Every atom says Ram, Ram, Ram. And Hanuman enters. Hanuman again is a manifestation of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva comes down to help Ram as Hanuman. Hanuman comes and meets Sita Mata. He can fly, he can come and meet Sita Mata. Mata, I have come with a message from Ram. He is there. He is acquiring an army to do a battle against Ravana. So please settle yourself and please don't worry. We are there. We are coming. And Sita Mata is given a piece of ornament from Rama. Immediately, Sita Mata gets connected to the energy of Rama. So we have to understand here that Rama and Sita were always connected. Until she enters this Lanka, they were connected on a thought level. It was not on a physical level. They have much deeper connection on thought level. They can speak through thoughts immediately. Even when we meditate, when we start meditating for a long period of time, we can easily understand what the other person is thinking. We can easily complete the other person's sentence. We can easily understand what sort of emotions the other person. We become very subtle. We understand the other person's emotions. So Sita and Ram had this amazing connection between them. Sita Mata always says that there was a light form of communication. The messages between her were sent through light. And a light form of telepathy, a light form of communication always existed with Sita Mata, with Ram. But when she entered Lanka, that communication has broken, and she cannot feel the heartbeat of Ram. She cannot see what is happening to Ram. Now Hanuman gives this ring of Ram, and immediately the connection is again established, and she can talk to Ram. She can again speak to Ram. She can again converse with Ram. She sends messages that everything is okay. I am okay. Do your work. And now Sita Mata is there. She understands she has to weaken Ravana from within. From the mind level, only if Ravana is weakened, Rama could do the work. He can do the physical battle on Ravana. So she starts her work. She beautifully does this. All the women sages again come down. They teach her how to enter the dream of Ravana, because Ravana is fully awake all the time. You can't enter Ravana's kingdom and attack on him. Only in the dream state, he has left down his god. Only in the dream state, Sita enters Ravana's dreams. And one by one, Sita shows all the things, all the worst things he has done in his life, and Ravana couldn't handle it. So Ravana stopped sleeping. Ravana couldn't sleep. Immediately, some woman will come into Ravana's dreams and see what you have done to me. You have abused me so many times. See what you have done to me. And immediately Ravana wakes up. Every time this is happening, Ravana gets very, you know how it is when people don't sleep for days together. Ravana gets very distorted. Ravana doesn't know what is happening, who is attacking him from the dream. So Ravana stops sleeping. He's in very, very bad state of mind. And then she has done the inner work. Sita has done the inner work now. It is up to Ram, who has to come and do the outer work. Hanuman sets fire. Hanuman starts his entire course. Hanuman sets fire to entire Lanka because the whole city is vibrating. He doesn't want to destroy the city, but the entire city is vibrating with all these negative emotions, and he understands the entire city has to be set on fire. Agni has the capacity to remove all that and purify systems. That is why Agni is given as a source, and all the um, omas and nagnyas and everything. Agni has the capability. Agni Dev has a capability to remove all the negativity out of you, all and purify you. So Hanuman sets Agni throughout Lanka, sets fire throughout Lanka, and starts the purification of Lanka. Yeah, and Sita Mata sends messages to Ram. Whatever she can understand, what is the battle strategy, how many people are in the army, she tells all the messages to Ram via telepathy. Cool thing to have, right? Very cool thing to have to talk via thoughts. She sends all the messages to Rama, and Rama starts his battle on Lanka. And during this process, what happens? Lakshman is killed. He is attacked with a lethal weapon, and he is about to die. Do you know why is Lakshman dying so soon? Because he threw the knife on Surpanaka. He threw a knife. Surpanaka didn't attack Lakshman. Surpanaka only attacked Sita, but Lakshman threw the knife. So Lakshman is bound to have that karmic cycle. He has to complete that karmic cycle. So Yamadev comes down, king of death and rejuvenation. He comes down to take Lakshman's lives away. But Sita Mata immediately, Sita Mata was adept in astral traveling. She can travel with the will. When she sits in meditation, she can travel anywhere she wants. She travels and stands in front of Lakshman and Yamadev and says, no, you can't take Lakshman's life now, because he was defending me. He was defending my life. So you can't take. And the battle happens between Lakshman and Sita and Yamadev. And Yamadev finally says, Mata, I have to do my duty. Please move. I have to do my duty. I have to take his life away. And finally, seeing Mata is not going to give up, Yamadev says, okay, give some years from your life. We'll transfer some years from your life to Lakshman's life. And now is this okay? Now is this deal okay? And Sita Mata says, that is fine. Take my years and give it to Lakshman. And that is how Lakshman comes back. Hanuman brings all those medicinal plants, applies to Lakshman, and Lakshman comes back to life. And that is how Sita Mata was very adept. She can even do battles during astral travel. Don't you think she can do a physical battle? Don't you think she is adept enough to do a physical battle? But still, to do what is required, masters never use their powers. Actually, they don't use that is not necessary. Beyond, they are not here to show off. They are not here to use that is not required. They are not here to tell people they are masters. They are just here to guide whoever is willing to take guidance from them. And Sita Mata was very adept in that. Sita Mata was very humble. Sita was very humble, and she saves Lakshman, and Ram does the battle on Ravana. Ravana is a great devotee of Narayan. Ram in his celestial form, Ram does the battle on Ravana only out of compassion. It is not like even when Krishna kills many people during his time, it is only out of compassion, because this physical body is saturated with all these negative thoughts. You can't grow anymore in this. There is no growth for that person in this physical body. So they have to die. And that is why, out of their compassion, they kill. The masters kill out of their compassion. They don't kill out of revenge. And even the act of killing is out of compassion. So Ram, before setting out the final arrow on Ravana, what he does is ties, he breaks all the roots. He gives him a new start. He breaks all the roots of all the seeds that is within him. He breaks all those delusions and kills Ravana. And on the deathbed, Ravana on the floor, he understands. He sees his past life. Yeah, he sees what happened and how he has not done anything to progress, yeah, during this life. And Rama says, go take your next birth, the final third birth, and let's see how it goes. So Ravana moves on to that next birth. And again, it is a millennia gap here before moving on to the next birth. And Rama comes to meet Sita. Sita is now on fire. Sita is her Agni, her Kundalini has opened up, and there is fire. And Sita Mata is taking in all the negative energies from the Lanka towards herself. And Lanka has to be purified now. She's the one to do that. So Sita Mata gets all the negativity, all the negative forms of energy in Lanka within herself, and she has to transform Lanka. So she takes up a task and purifies Lanka. So this is the entire journey with Ram, Sita, and Ravana. Now the battle is over. The battle is over. Yeah, this is the one journey. And Sita Mata now starts her journey 2.0. Sita Mata 2.0. Sita Mata comes back to Ayodhya. In Ayodhya. Sorry. In Ayodhya now, she is feeling very restricted. Yeah, she has wandered for the last 14 years. She has been very free. She has wandered throughout the forest, and now she is feeling very restricted. See, Sita Mata tells. Sita Mata thinks. Oh. Sita Mata thinks, oh, this is feels very restricted in her journeys and wanderings, and thinks, oh my God, it would have been beautiful to spend the journey in forest again. Immediately that comes and manifests. Thoughts manifest, right? That is why it is very important to not to think an extra thought, not to say an extra word, because these are all vibrations, and whatever we say, whatever we think, come to pass. And when we are meditators, we have to be very careful what we say and what we think, because we have higher energies now within us to make it manifest faster. Sita Mata thinks, oh my God, I have to. Forest is beautiful, and immediately that comes to pass. And again, there is a backstory. There is a beautiful backstory why she has again to enter forest. So this is again a beautiful backstory. In many years before, when Sita Mata is born as a kid to sages, Brigu and Kyati and Brigu, these are sages, and they pray Narayani. Narayani, please come down as our daughter. She comes down as their daughter Bhargavi, and she again marries Narayani. But due to some course of events, you can read that in the book, sage Brigu gives out a curse to the person who killed his second wife. Okay, and that person is Narayan. And the curse goes like this: as I am suffering from my wife's departure, so will the person who killed my wife will see a departure from his loved one, will see a departure from his Narayan, and Narayani accept. So why Narayan killed the second wife of Brigu? Everything is there. See, masters do it out of compassion. People don't understand why they do it. So Brigu is not mature enough to understand why Narayan did it. So he gives out the curse. But even then, since Brigu is suffering with physical pain, Narayan even accepts that. Narayan, as Krishna accepted from Gandhari the curse, even though it is nowhere of base, he again accepts Narayan, has this, he's very kind, he's all loving, he accepts even people's curses. Everything has come to pass and it is good. He understands everything is for good. So he accepts Brigu's curse and he says, okay, even me and when we come down as Ram and Lakshman, sorry, Ram and Sita, we will separate in life. That is an essential separation. We will take this curse, we will get separated in life. But all these women sages weaken the curse and they have partial separation. So Sita Mata and Ram plan. Sita Mata goes into the forest. Sita Mata settles down in forest now, and Ram comes and goes, and Sita Mata is now pregnant. Sita Mata has twins, and she gets help from again women sages come and they offer her their protection. They offer their help to Sita Mata. Now the help is coming from Ram's sister Shanta. She again is a very good master. She again is an enlightened master. Ram taught her. Ram was her guru, and he taught all the things he know to his elder sister. You often don't know who is going to be your guru. Yeah, your elder siblings can be your gurus. So don't get the pride and emotion that they are younger to you, and don't always keep your ears open. So Ram teaches Sita Mata all he knows. So Shanta, his elder sister, all he knows, and Shanta has now come to help Sita in her pregnancy. So Sita is now enjoying this phase in life. She is in forest. She is communicating with animals. She is a beautiful healer. She is healing left and right and center. Whoever comes down, even animals come down and ask help. She can understand the thoughts of animals. You see, Sita Mata can communicate with animals. Animals project images onto Sita Mata's mind. Sita can understand from these images what is happening in animals' life. So even very subtle form of existence. Only when you are a subtle being, when you are very subtle to others' emotions, you can understand these, right? Sita Mata can understand the emotions of even animals and plants and she is nature herself. She can understand everything, and she is healing everyone. She is helping everyone along the way, and she is absolutely enjoying her life with the two young kids. Now comes the early education of kids. So Sita Mata used to have this routine of telling bedtime stories to Lava and Kush. Sita tells beautiful stories about all the possibilities that exist when you are a meditator. She tells stories about all the sages she has met. She tells stories about how the planets are formed, how these sages, how these meditators, out of their powers and tapas, all the energy they have created planets. And Sita Mata tells to her kids how you can travel, how you can do astral travel through all these. These are inspiring stuff to tell to the kids, right? Instead of telling stories that are bound in this earthly planes, if you tell the kids that are possibilities, those infinite possibilities that exist. These are infinite possibilities that can exist for a kid. But when a kid is not exposed to these, the kid thinks he can only do that. Sita makes sure that her kids, Lava and Kush, knew everything about meditation right from their young age, knew everything about the stories of masters during those time right from their young age. Automatically, the kids become inspired to do meditation. So, one beautiful story I have here to share. This finally, I promise, this is the last final story, but I felt this was a very good story. So we often have we have often heard the story of sage Ahalya and Gautama. They were both enlightened masters, and Devas, Indradeva, he comes down to test these masters. These devas come down to test the meditators masters, because only then they'll be permitted to have an entry in the celestial plane. So Indradev has now come down to test sage Ahalya and Gautama. He comes down in the form of Gautama and enters the abode of Ahalya. He comes down and enters the home of Ahalya. Ahalya, she again is a very enlightened master, so immediately sees through the disguise. She tells Indradev, why have you come in the disguise of my husband? You are not my husband, so please move out. Indradev now he knows Okay, Ahalya, she is qualified, she is a master. And when Indradev goes out, he is still in disguise. Gautama comes and sees that Indradev is in disguise of his disguise, and of course, Sage Ahalya would have done something wrong with Indradev, and immediately starts temper, out of pride, immediately starts to curse. Ahalya, out of her compassion, she comes between Indradev and Gautama and takes the curse onto herself, and she becomes a stone. She becomes a rock. She becomes a rock out of her pure love for her husband, because the curse is bound to come back eventually. Whatever you curse to the other people is bound to come back right to you. So at least let me take the curse. Let it not be on Indradev. Let me take the curse. Out of her compassion and love for her husband, she takes the curse unto herself, and for so many years, she is a stone now. Yeah, Rama comes and liberates her, but until then, she was a stone. So she was a stone, and all these stories Sita is now telling to her kids, and she discusses all these things with the kids. She is very patient. She answers all the questions her kids ask, and she discusses what have you learned from these lessons. What do you think of the life of these masters? What do you think they have done mistakes? And all these things she discusses with the kids. So that is the life now of Mata. Now again, everything is going beautifully, but the time has come. Sita Mata has to leave the physical plane. Sita Mata, Sita, during the entire period, she has only one desire. She had one desire. I had to see Mahadev. I had to see Shiva in the physical form. I know I have met his energy form. I have met all that, but I have to see him. When I am in the physical plane, I want to see Mahadev in the physical plane. So Mahadev understands Sita desire, and Mahadev comes down. Mahadev and Parvati, they both come down. They come down in the physical plane, and they talk to Sita and Ram. Sita Mata is overjoyed, and they understand this is the time. Because Sita Mata has given her ears to Lakshman. She has saved Lakshman, but due to that, she has given her life, some of years of her life, to Lakshman, and it's now time for Sita Mata to leave. She has 1 year time, and she has to do everything now. Whatever she has to finish off, she has to, before she moves on to the celestial plane, she has to do everything now. During the last year, Sita and Ram do a lot of astral travels. They visit various planes on this earth. They bless, and they plant beautiful thought patterns. They plant all the thought patterns that are required in the future. They know that the cycles will change, the time will change. Again, the earth will rise to a spiritual plane. The earth has to move to a higher vibration, and for that higher vibration to manifest, Sita Mata and Ram Sita and Ram, during the last year of life, travel astrally towards all the corners of earth, and they plant beautiful thought patterns. Again, if you remember, Sita Mata, during her young age, she promised Janak Baba, Janak, her father, that if I have to move on to the next plane, out of the body from here, I will take your blessing. She has given her word. So Janak also arrives. All this is done astrally. You have to understand that is the level of capability the masters had. It was not infrequent. It was very frequent for all these masters to do all this. It is not even thought that is there a possibility to that. That didn't exist. Everything was in the possibility for these masters. And Janak comes astrally and blesses Sita. And the next day, Sita sits in meditation. Sita and Ram sit in meditation, and Sita gets into and moves on as a light being. In her meditation, she decides that's it. Masters decide. They have this Ichcha Marana. You call that, right? Ichcha Marana. They have that capability to decide how they want to die. So and the time they want to die, she immediately moves as light being, and she goes away. Ram is still there because he has to finish his work. He is still there, and as the years move, Ram teaches Lava and Kush all he has learned, and they are now are doing all these administration work. So all this story is now happening where Soma is the attended to Sita Mata. She is now telling all the story to Anasuya. All she has heard from Hanuman, all she has heard from Sita Mata, all she has seen, all the wishes she has seen, she is telling all these beautifully to Anasuya, who is the author. And that is how Anasuya has come to, the author Dina Mariam has come to write a book. So Anasuya, our author, when she was Anasuya, had one final wish. So she wanted to deeply see Sita Mata, because in this birth as Anasuya, she has not Sita Mata in physical form. In her last birth, she has seen, when she was Meenakshi, she has seen. So before her departure, she wanted to see Sita Mata in the physical form. She wanted to have those thoughts. And during her last moments, she is sitting by the river. She sees those memories from her previous birth. So now everything is satisfied, everything is done. So Anasuya departs. Our author departs and leaves the body. She is now very aged. She has done a whole journey. She has finished her life. She is a mother now to all these kids. She has had a full life. So she now departs beautifully to the next journey in her life cycle. So that is how the book is written. There are so many stories. I can't put all these stories in words, but every story was inspiring, and they were very and every story was inspiring, and there were words inside the story that sometimes I had tears in my eyes. There was one particular incident, just to wind up, where Ram blesses our author. He blesses our author Dina Mariam. Whatever the birth you take, there will always be something to remind you who you really are. What was your previous life with Sita was who you really were. And Ram gives the blessing personally to our author. And in this life, Dina Mariam, who is during her meditation, communicates with Mata Sita and Sri Ram, and she has written this book very, very, very beautifully. Yeah. So that is how it has come to pass. I have read this book like 3 to 4 times now. Every time I read it, it is very inspiring. Immediately, what I want to do is only meditate, nothing else. So such inspiring is this book. A very good read for everyone. So that is all from me.